say anything.
You have to say something. This isn't exactly a pride parade.
Let them make themselves look stupid.
Oh, they are doing that plenty themselves.
Excuse me, sir. Get out of our space. You're not even a real woman.
Fuck Plan A. What are you gonna do about it, you weak piece of shit?
Shut up, you freak.
Oh, that's cute. Is that what all 3 of your brain cells came up with this morning? Oh, I'm proud of you.
This short was so interesting because of the setting that took place. I loved how harsh and raw the opening was with all of the just emotion conveyed. It was done beautifully. The editing was fantastic. I really think it helped elevate the story and elevate the plot. The cinematography was amazing as well. It really got in the faces of all the actors and really made me experience a lot of the raw and guttural emotion. And there was great character growth and character development. The time jumps and the pacing were amazing, and this short was great.
Important film. The beginning with the protesters, the scene where they're harassing that woman, and she's just standing straight. First of all, I love her. And they don't beat around the bush at all. You hear the F slur, which I think was necessary in this film to kind of get across their anger. Like, you're feeling their anger. You're almost seeing it from the character's perspective. And I love how it's arranged on a timeline, and the message it gives in the dialogue with the counter protester, with the man, and how he gradually transformed over time. They find unity at like this human level when they finally introduce themselves with their names. And I thought that was really smart writing on their part. I thought it was really clever. And the positivity at the Pride event. I just love how how much strength is in the LGBT community that is portrayed in this film, and how it just really holds the message the whole time that we're all human and not divided, and all we want is love and acceptance. I think this is something that people should see, and I think that it is just a really good, example of like the real issue. They really brought it out into the light, and I appreciate that.
I thought this one was really interesting. I think it's super well shot. I love the lighting and everything, and it takes place at night. It's super cinematic. I think the performances from all the actors are strong, and it carries the entire narrative. I think overall it's a pretty strong little short. I think it has like a really nice message. It feels very concise, and it kind of wraps itself up with a pretty nice little bow. And and I think as far as shorts go, I would be very proud if I were the filmmaker responsible. So
it was really touching. I liked that, in the end he couldn't win the sister over, but he got the brother, and it shows that it's kind of like a gradual thing, especially because it takes the narrative goes over several weeks. Just being like, okay, this is the idea. Like, I want, like, starting out, not talking to each other, yelling at each other, spitting in their face, and then, grabbing a slice of pizza, and eventually, standing with him and saying, like, I don't know if he's completely sold over and he's like, this Christian character is like totally into gay marriage now, but he's, after that conversation where he's like, would Jesus spit in someone's face? Like, it just switches it completely, and especially for him to go against his family and the rest of his group and everything. So I think it's really good. I think it's a gesture, or not so much a gesture, but like a look at how society is like going in the right direction of like being accepting and realizing, like, even if they don't necessarily agree, they don't have to be so hateful, because it really was like a love versus hate thing, even though they were preaching like, no, they were preaching God hates you. They were preaching God hates you. So it was nice to see that go over time. And median was like a great term, or a great title for the piece as well, because it shows that they're kind of like meeting in the middle at the end. And how this character is like crossing over to to go stand with this evangelical group and be like, hey, like, this isn't cool, but like maybe I can talk you down. So overall, I really enjoyed the piece. I think it was very very nicely put together. It has a really clear, straightforward message, and I think it should keep being shared. Keep submitting it to things, because I really enjoyed it.
I thought this was really interesting. I really liked the pace of it. I thought they didn't rush it, which was really, really nice. They had this kind of concept of coming back into it again and again and again each week, and having it be something that was revisited. And I feel like in situations like this, when you do have kind of competing protests, as it were, it is something that typically takes on like a weekly or, you know, daily thing. It's not just like a one time thing. It's not like a one event necessarily. And then I liked that they showed the progression, and it wasn't just the progression in how he was reacting, but it was also in like how he dressed from the very first time that we saw him to the last time. Like, he completely looked different. His attitude was different. So I liked that they showed the progression with that and showed the kind of ebb and flow of how it started with just two people, for the like pro-love side, and so many people for the like anti side, and how that ratio completely got turned around and changed by not even just the last time, which is like I think 3 or 4 weeks in, but even by like the second or third time, that ratio was already completely changed, which I really liked. I thought that was a really a well done thing, that kind of love perseveres and will continue to persevere no matter what. But I really liked, like I said, I think the thing that I liked the best was the pace of it, because it didn't feel too rushed for what they actually accomplished.
It was great. I love that they showed the progression over time of kind of, you know, wearing down Leo, and we can see how it, you know, the sister kind of held strong in her stance, but Leo, we could tell from the beginning, and he's such an incredible actor, you could see the like cracks in his armor, and that, you know, there was something he was holding back, and something that he was really wanting to express but stopping himself, and his response to that that tension was anger, and you could see him kind of hearing what he's saying, but then convincing himself to just come back 10 times harder. And it was forced, because it really wasn't how he actually felt. And I feel like I just have to give kudos to this actor, because that's just such a masterful performance that we're able to see all of those many layers of the character. It was so, you know, beyond one note. And I loved the entire message of this, and just how, you know, every once in a while you can beat hate with love, and I think this is just a beautiful example.
Comedian has a really important message of tolerance, I believe, and it's really about how we all need to come together and listen to one another more, and we'd be surprised, I think, at how much middle ground we really would find. I enjoyed the use of split screen at several points throughout, and I just think it's a really well done short that encapsulates the time that we're still in, even though it feels like we should be over so much of this drama, so to speak. We're really not. There's so many who are still misguided about their feelings about gay people. So hopefully they can see this and become much more enlightened.